Alright, chat. This is probably gonna trouble doing this video. But this is Epstein Island, a private tour with the one only Jeffrey Epstein. So, here we go.
Alright, so this is basically the staff.
Let me rewind back to the beginning. Here we go. This is all, chat.
I'll just show you one of the rooms while we're here. This is where the staff sleep when they're on the island. This is the bathroom. And right here, got a little ditty oil on the shelf. Alright, so this is basically the staff area. I was actually planning to do a full tour today, walk the whole place and show everything properly. But with the weather like this, I don't think that's happening. Since I'm already out here though, I might as well show you this part.
I mean, this island is probably crazy to have because he was a millionaire. Chat. Don't know how he got a millionaire, don't know why he's a millionaire, but how? Like how?
It's pretty windy out here. Actually, when you spend enough time in a place like this, it stops feeling like ownership.
I'm gonna get my charger, chat. What you guys in?
Every corner has its own mood. Places like this aren't easy to come by. It's not just about owning land. It's about having control over your surroundings. Out here,
Yeah,
no
here.
issues, no interruptions. You can relax.
See the TV still.
That kind of privacy is rare.
So, plug you guys in real quick.
It's hard.
Guys, this is the tour
So yeah,
of Epstein's Island with Jeffrey Epstein. Pause video. Oh shit. Alright, hold on.
There's the pool. Not exactly pool weather today.
Alright, guys. It's gonna be leaning a little bit. Charge plugged in, but just want yeah, it's still TV.
There's this statue.
So here's good.
It's a solid piece. It holds the space well.
Take a little bit towards you guys.
I won't say who, but it does look familiar.
Guys, this is a tour of Epstein's Island, guys. It is crazy how I found this video.
The wind's too strong. It's not worth pushing it.
Imagine, bro.
I'll just show you one of the rooms while we're here. This is where the staff sleep when they're on the island.
Staff, bro. Oh my god, bro. Staff sleep there?
This is the bathroom. And right here, got a little ditty oil on the shelf.
Oh yeah, because the staff got to sit there because of the island.
And this is the main room.
They can't go back and forth.
Yeah, much better today. The sun's finally out. Now we can actually do the full tour properly. I'll start with one of my favorite spots. Always a good place to begin. That's the temple right there. It definitely stands out. Kind of defines the whole place. Notice the initials? Just a quiet signature. It's a pretty special place.
That's basically Jeffrey Epstein right now, showing you guys.
You get views like this all around the island. It never really gets old. Here's a little secret. It looks like a real door from a distance, like it has depth, but up close you can see it's completely flat. It's just paint on the wall.
What the fuck?
The windows are boarded up for now. There's something in progress in there. Still a project underway. There's a new structure planned for this space. It's all connected to temple.
Oh my.
Big plans for this part of the island. Got some heavy equipment set up out here.
Holy shit.
Let's take a look at the ambulance.
Guys, this is Jeffrey Epstein doing a tour of his own private island. Oh, holy shit. It's crazy, chat. I don't know why the fucking alien's truck in the back of his yard. Like, come on, bro, really?
We recently took something down here.
It is chat. It is crazy, chat. Oh my god, this is the craziest video I ever seen, bro. Why have no one reacted to this yet, bro?
Looks like someone left a case in here. Nothing.
It said a tour with the one only Jeffrey Epstein.
You can see we've already started bringing.
So if this is him showing the private island, why the? Oh god, bro. I'm saying, guys, I told in last live, if I get 1 million subscribers in the beginning of June 27, me and Anime will go to the ranch or the island. Might not go on the island, but get close enough where we take a video of it. So come on, guys. Got that friend to subscribe. 1 million subscribers by the beginning of 2027. I have 1 million subscribers. Me and Anime will go to the island or the ranch. You guys will choose. But you guys have to get 1 million subscribers by June 27.
Didn't expect this right out here.
This is crazy, guys. This is a tour of the island, bro. He's showing you everything. I mean, island, bro. It's just like crazy. Like, you're a millionaire. You have an island. Why would we be doing the illegal stuff? Right
This
there,
is
bro.
one of the staff offices. Most of the coordination happens right here. Planning, organizing, making sure nothing slips through. Weather's definitely better than yesterday. Most days out here like this. Steady breeze, plenty of sun.
Nice view, but bro, no, bro. Like, what? Bro. That's just crazy. And I don't know why he took this video, why he posted this video. I don't know why, maybe he was showing people his island.
Not exactly standard furniture.
So yeah, it's crazy. This is the island.
See what's in there? It's empty. Another one here. This one's got a door. This one actually has some materials in it. Got a bit of a Dexter vibe.
Chat. Green chat.
You'll notice there are quite a few of these statues scattered around the island. They've got a pretty distinctive style.
I mean, that's a beautiful sight. But it's just, he's showing you guys the island, but what do all these statues mean? I mean, why would you board up the temple window, bro? Like, did Jeffrey Epstein board him up, or did, because he got arrested somehow. Somehow, someone went on the island or something, bro. But now that everything, all this files are out, now everybody's sneaking on the island.
This one's a bit more special.
Well, I found this video of the tour of the
island
island with the one only Jeffrey
Let's walk
Epstein.
down and see what's going on down there. This is one of the massage areas. There are a few of them spread out across the island. They're actually some of my favorite spots out here. I really enjoy a good massage. This one in particular has 2 tables set up, as you can see. I'm down at the dock now. I'll take the boat out for a quick ride. Some friends just got here.
Friends, huh? Bro, that's just like crazy, bro.
Well, I'm back on the island now. Not a bad view to end the day.
Now, I'm gonna try to see the truth about Epstein Temple. Let's see what this video is about. Since that was just like a short video. Let's see what this is.
This is one of the most famous buildings on the internet. It's located on a private island owned by Jeffrey Epstein. And for years, people have tried to figure out what it was. A temple? A place for rituals? A hidden bunker? Because when you look closer, something doesn't add up. In this video, we're going inside that building through the testimonies of people who were actually there to uncover what was really happening. But to understand the temple, you first need to understand where it is, because this island is not just any island. It's located in the middle of the Caribbean, isolated, private, and designed to not depend on anything external. It had its own power system, a direct data connection to the main island, and more than 70 employees working there. A completely closed system. The island is called Little St. James, and it belonged to Jeffrey Epstein starting in 1998. For years, it was seen as a paradise, until it wasn't, and it became one of the most controversial places in the world. A place where, according to some testimonies, getting out wasn't as easy as getting in. Right in the middle of that island, there's a building that stands out above everything else. Today, it's completely white, no dome, no striking details. It's not a large building, barely about 30 feet tall, a cube-shaped structure, isolated from the rest. But what really makes it strange isn't its size, it's its evolution, because the building you see today isn't the original, and that's not a small detail. In 2010, official plans for the structure were submitted, and what appears in those plans looks nothing like what was actually built. The original design was a music pavilion, a low structure about 10 feet tall, octagonal in shape, open and surrounded by a wide porch. A space designed simply to hold a piano. But what was actually built between 2009 and 2013 is completely different. A cube-shaped structure 3 times taller, closed off, without the original porch, and built with materials that don't match the approved plans. Even the dome was added later, and the final look didn't match the original design either. The building was painted white with bold blue stripes, topped with a golden dome, and designed to stand out from anywhere on the island. This wasn't a modification, it was a complete redesign. And with a change like that, it's inevitable to wonder if it was ever really meant to be a music pavilion. This is where a key figure comes in, one of the few people who actually went inside the building. A piano tuner who visited the island multiple times to work inside it. And what he describes is surprisingly normal. A single room with 2 levels, separated by a small step. Inside, there was a gray couch, a desk over 10 feet long, bookshelves filled with books, and a black Wurlitzer piano. Above the piano, a portrait of Epstein with the Pope. No rituals, no strange symbols, just a room that seemed completely normal. But there's an important detail. When he entered the building, it didn't look like it does today. It wasn't white, it didn't have a dome, and it didn't have that temple-like appearance. It was much simpler. A metallic gray structure, much closer to what you'd expect from a music pavilion. And that's when everything changes. The building transforms. The dome appears. The bright colors are added. And the change isn't just structural. Something else appears too, on the roof. For a period of time, the building was topped with a statue of Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea, on a private island. That might seem purely decorative, but Poseidon isn't just any god. He represents power, control, and dominance over a chaotic environment. And in a place like this, that choice feels, at the very least, intentional. Over time, the statue disappears. It's replaced by other figures, bird-like statues, and that's where things start to become more ambiguous. Because in a place where everything seems designed, it's hard to believe anything is random. When a building changes this much, when its form doesn't match its function, theories start to emerge. One of the most common theories is about its design. Some people have compared it to a 15th century hammam in Syria, a public bath, a place where people gathered, relaxed, and received massages. And this is where the connection becomes uncomfortable, because massages were exactly how Epstein approached his victims. It started as something that seemed normal and turned into something else. And this is where the theory goes further. That type of architecture is also associated with a specific historical group, the Mamluks. And this is important to understand. The Mamluks were children who were bought or captured and raised as property, trained to serve an elite, with no freedom and no control over their own future. A system based on total control from a young age. That's why some people see a parallel, an aesthetic link to that kind of system, on an island where disturbingly similar things happened. But even if it fits, that doesn't make it true, because a theory is one thing, and proof is something very different. Still, that hasn't stopped these ideas from spreading. Some go even further. They connect the building to ancient Middle Eastern religions, where figures like Baal appear, a god associated with power, storms, and in some historical accounts, rituals and sacrifices. These cultures used architecture as a way to represent power. Temples weren't
That's
just
live,
buildings,
chat.
they
That's
were
live.
visible symbols of authority and control. That's why some believe the design wasn't random, but a deliberate attempt to imitate that kind of structure. There are even theories about the statues on the island. Some believe they represent ancient mythological figures like Enki, a Mesopotamian deity associated with knowledge, creation, and control over humanity. According to these interpretations, Enki was a figure who gave knowledge to humans, and because of that, some modern interpretations link him to Lucifer. From there, the idea emerges that these elements might carry hidden meaning. And then there's the most repeated theory of all, what might be underneath. This idea doesn't come out of nowhere. It's based on several details. Visible
That's
cables
live,
across
chat.
the
That's
island,
live.
entrances that don't have a clear purpose,
It's crazy,
structures that
chat.
don't seem to fit the rest of the environment. On top of that, the building itself is small, too small for what it appears to represent from the outside, which leads to one idea, that what you see is only part of something bigger.
It's
From
crazy,
there,
chat.
people talk about tunnels,
It's crazy. That's
underground
live.
connections, even access to the sea. But it's important to
That's
understand
live,
something.
chat. This
All
is
of these
crazy.
ideas come from connections and interpretations, not direct evidence. And even if some of them seem to fit, that doesn't mean they're real. After all these theories, there's something far more interesting. Someone who was actually there, a designer who worked directly with Epstein. He visited several of his properties and spent time on the island multiple times. And when he talks about the building, his answer is clear. It had no hidden meaning. What matters is why he says that. According to him, Epstein had no real interest in anything spiritual or religious. He wasn't a mystical person. He describes him as someone far more focused on appearance than meaning.
I never felt that someone like Jeffrey Epstein had any inclination for the spiritual world. The idea of evil worshipping and all that is, in my opinion, entire bullshit.
He explains that many things that seem symbolic aren't. For example, the floor patterns had no hidden message. Someone designed something that looked good, and Epstein approved it.
You go in your head and you start designing patterns, and then you come up with one, you send it to him, and he says, "Great." That's how it happens.
Is that exactly how it happened? So it's not influenced by, I don't know.
No, it's not. Jeffrey Epstein was not cultured that way.
He also says the building itself wasn't special. Being inside it didn't feel different. There was nothing that suggested it was an important place.
And I think that he built it because it was a fun thing to build. But I think that was it. I mean, and when we visited it together, it never, felt as if it was something so special. And I never tried to find anything in it.
He also explains how the building evolved. It started as a music pavilion, but at some point, that function no longer made sense. No one was going there to listen to music, so it became something else, something more visually striking.
I think when he probably realized that nobody was going to go there to listen to music. And then he found a way to make it attractive.
His conclusion is simple. The building wasn't special. It was just designed to stand out. And if that's true, then everything changes, because the building was never the important part. It was just the most visible one. And while everyone was looking at it, the rest of the island stayed out of focus. And when the designer describes that rest, the picture changes completely. From the outside, everything looked luxurious. Beaches, villas, a perfect environment. But inside, it was something else.
Crazy, chat.
Interior spaces that were dark.
Oh my
Curtains
gosh.
always closed. Extremely low temperatures. Places that didn't feel designed for comfort.
You're on the beach. It's so beautiful, as you see in the pictures. And you would think that all the windows were open and then you'd live inside and outside. No, all the indoor spaces were dark.
Mike
curtains
the
drawn,
live
and
chat.
the air conditioning was probably at 58. It was so cold.
He described specific areas with bunk beds, and when he saw them, he asked Epstein directly why they were there. The answer was simple. They were for the girls.
And the first bungalows on the left when you came up, or the two bungalows, they were like bunk beds. And I asked him, I said, "But why on earth do you have bunk beds?" And he said, "Well, for the girls."
He also mentions a room full of computers, and again he asked Epstein what it was for, and the answer was essentially the same. It was for them.
And then there was a room with computers, and I said, "What is that room for?" And he said to me, "Well, this is a room for the girls, because they play on their computers."
Oh my.
That.
But the most unsettling part isn't any specific detail. It's the overall feeling. Everything looked luxurious on the outside, but empty on the inside. Like a set, a facade. And then something else happens. Epstein asks him to design a room underneath the pool, a hidden space, with beds on wheels that could be moved around. In that moment, he understands what's going on, and he leaves.
And then he said, "I want you to do a big protection room for me underneath the pool." So we would have lifted the entire pool area and put a protection room downstairs. And I said, "What do you want in that protection room?" He says, "Well, I want beds. I want beds on casters that we can move around, beds for two people." This is when I realized on the island when he was living on the island, I decided it was not going to work for me.
That's when everything starts to make sense. Because the building was never the important part. It was the visible one, the thing that made you look there, while what really mattered was happening everywhere else. In the end, the building fits perfectly with everything else, something striking on the outside, but empty on the inside, like the island, like everything surrounding it. Everything looked like luxury, control, normality. But behind it, there was another story, and maybe that's why it never needed to be completely hidden, because it only had to look like something else. We may never know exactly what that building was, but at this point, that's no longer the important question, because what happened on that island doesn't depend on a building. It depends on something much bigger. Power, influence.
This is crazy. I'm showing this right now.
And that doesn't disappear over time, because the most unsettling part is that it was never really hidden.
Well, Chat. What can I say?
Hundreds of thousands of emails from and to Jeffrey Epstein are available with the Stein Fill.
What is this?
A new one for my monsieur.
Call. Russian woman in New York available. Give your rating from 1 to 10. Based.
The online project, Jmail. Jeffrey Epstein's mailbox recreated for this film. Therefore, we are now in a position to read, word by word, the details of how he set up and operated his abuse network, while simultaneously maintaining communication with the elites of numerous countries.
You're very charming, you know that?
Sure, I know. One can now peek in through the keyhole, however, into such a world of the wealthy and powerful and observe their interactions when they believe that
Chat.
nobody
Is this crazy?
Emails you see here are all written in exactly the same manner.
During which day or night does the wildest party typically take place on your island?
The emails give us an insight into Jeffrey Stein's system that we've never had before. How did the Stein system work? How is it possible for a convicted sex offender to continue operating for such a protracted period as though nothing had transpired? The emails help us understand this. Date July 22nd, 2009. Jeffrey Epstein is being released from the prison in Palm Beach after serving 13 months AS. Early for good behavior. He goes home to his villa in Florida. One of the first things he does is write emails, or rather, one email. It's always the same text. Free and at home. He sends them to multiple recipients.
Deed he committed, in my opinion, is such that it would lead one to believe it makes a return to normal social life completely impossible.
It's like a test.
Chat,
will
this is
close
crazy,
network
chat.
react after more than a year in prison? The allegations against Jeffrey Epstein were enormous. Before his conviction, the police had interviewed more than 50 alleged victims of sexual assault.
Every girl Jeffrey meets starts with a massage. The more you engage in activities with him, the more money you will receive. If you then remove your clothing, your earnings will increase. If you let him do things, you get more.
By doing things, they mean touching.
Yes, touching in inappropriate places.
Established a system where underage children
Oh
were
my.
continuously recruited and subjected to abuse.
No.
If I'm
Chat.
trained, I'll introduce you to all my girlfriends. They bring their girlfriends, and so on and so forth.
Did Jeff know his real age, or did he not care?
He didn't care. He told me the younger the better.
Stein was facing a life sentence. But behind closed doors, he managed to make a deal with the prosecutor's office that is still questionable to this day. Stein concluded a so-called non-prosecution agreement. His sole legal responsibility in Florida centered on admitting guilt to the crime of procuring a minor for prostitution-related activities.
It's crazy, chat.
18 months in prison.
Crazy.
For this, in exchange, the investigation will be discontinued and all further charges will be dismissed. He was also given a lenient sentence in terms of prison conditions.
Chat, I can't watch that. It's getting me emotional. That's just crazy how he was allowed to do this shit and didn't get caught for no fucking reason. It's weird, chat. Thank you guys for joining. I know this live product did really good. Thank you that came in to the live. I don't know what to say, chat, but it was just crazy. I don't know what else to say, chat. Just some crazy shit. But thank you all that came to the live. Appreciate you all. I will see you guys later on today or tomorrow. Peace.